Hey guys, it's Al here from Vincent Al Podcast, and welcome to Midweek Segment number 3. Just awesome. I'm really pumped about this upcoming segment and all the things that I want to talk about. I'm also really pumped with this intro music. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I made it a little bit longer so you guys could, jam out to it. I personally like this song a lot. If you guys are listening to this and you have yet to listen to Midweek Segment number 2, which is Vince's first Midweek segment, after this segment's all said and done, please just go tune in. Give it a like. Comment down below your favorite sneaker story. I think Vince explained this in his segment, how him and I are both, not sneak geeks, but, we enjoy the sneaker culture. We enjoy fashion. I personally don't have all the sneakers that I would like to have. And I'm sure Vince has the same feelings and sentiments. Vince does have a lot of cool pairs of sneakers. But for each pair that he owns, he has worked so hard for, and I'm very proud of him for that. I think he did an awesome introduction into our sneaker life into this channel. But what he also did was kind of spin it into a life lesson kind of situation. He merged those two together really well. And I think that's something Vince and I pride ourselves on with this YouTube channel. Every podcast, every segment that we do, we want you guys to take away something. We want you guys to think, to have, to feel emotion when we speak. To try to interact and engage with what we're trying to say. And that's our main goal. And I think Vince did it again, and that's my plan, that's my goal for this segment as well. If you read the title, it's Be Yourself. And I'm gonna have 2 layers. Right? The top layer, the self-explanatory layer, and then a layer that's gonna be very deep. And in a way dark. And don't be scared when I say dark. It's not that way of what you're thinking. But it's going to be 2 layers. So I'm going to hit on the first layer. So let's just get right into it. As humans, we strive for comfort. And what I mean by that, let me repeat it actually. As humans, we strive for comfort. This is something I found within myself. And what I mean by that, by us striving for comfort, or at least from what I've seen, is that, let me give you an example. The first day of school, you walk into a classroom, where do you naturally go? The back of the classroom, right? At least that's where I would go. Because, it's uncomfortable sitting in the front of the classroom where you feel all these eyes in the back of your head and you're right there in front of the teacher. And, typically that's where the teacher first calls, the person in the front of the classroom. So you naturally go in the back of the classroom, right? In lunch, you're going to congregate with your friends and you're going to sit with your friends, right? That's a natural thing, and that's in the school world, but in the business world, maybe you find a job and you want it close to your family. For me as a family-oriented person, that's something I would do. And, you find comfort in that. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's a very, very natural, instinctive way that we act. We're wired to be to be comfortable, right? And when we're in uncomfortable situations, it's hard on us. Even the most strongest-minded, strongest-willed people, they struggle when they're in situations that are uncomfortable to them, right? Yeah, the strong-minded limit the amount of uncomfortable times they're in, but they're always going to feel, there's going to be times in their lives that you're going to be uncomfortable. Life presents you with difficulties, challenges, right? It's gonna throw things, it's gonna just hurl things at you that you weren't expecting. There are times that life wants to make you cry. Life wants to make you crawl in your bed and just stay there, But life also gives you joy and happiness and friendships and learning lessons. And I think if you can spin, what people deem and see as negative and spin it in a way for you to grow as a person, I think that helps. That's just, this is a stream of consciousness kind of thing. So whatever comes to mind, comes to heart, I'm going to say it. But with the title of Be Yourself, I'm in a completely different state than I'm used to. I just moved out here not even a month ago, right? I'm in a completely different state, completely different school district, a completely different soccer team where I have to go again and prove myself once again. I left some of my greatest friends. That includes Vince. I'm blessed with the power of technology. I left my family, and it's hard. And I'm not going to sit here and say, with this mentality, what I'm trying to say, everything will be perfect, everything will be a breeze. I'm perfect, everything's been easy for me with this mentality. No. That is 100% wrong, because I'm going to be honest, there are times where I have cried, just being homesick, being in an uncomfortable situation, being on a new soccer team. I have to prove myself, and when I make a mistake, I have high expectations for myself. So, it's easy for me to beat myself up. I want to make friends, right? And going with being yourself, with wanting to make friends, your goal when you enter school is to learn, but to make friends within a week, within 2 weeks, right? Because you don't want to be uncomfortable. You want to have comfort in friends, You want to have a group of people that you sit with on lunch. You want to have a group of people on a free period, for example, to go with and congregate with, right? That's just a natural way of how us humans, how we instinctively react, how we see circumstances. And like I said, there isn't anything wrong with that, but at the same time, it can become dangerous, especially when you're a new student, when you're a new person, right? When you're a new guy at the job, the freshman in college, so many other instances, but I'm going to focus on school. And what I mean by dangerous is it's easy for you. It's really easy, and it's almost natural for someone to conform to how the general population of that particular place or school acts, how they talk, conform, go with the flow, all of those things, right? It's easy. Like I said, it's natural. We don't want to be that odd man out. We don't want to be that quote-unquote weird kid who doesn't do what the other kids do. And what I'm trying, and this is one of my many mottos, and what I tell myself every single day, is just be yourself. Because maybe you won't find your best friend within that. I'm going to put quote around that best friend because I'm sure you can't find it if you're conforming. Because if you change, those friends are just going to throw you out the window. But with being yourself, maybe you, like I said, you won't find that best friend in the first week or 2 weeks. Heck, maybe not even the first month or 2 months of school. But you just continue to be yourself, and think about your morals, think about your ethics, and just work hard at everything that you do in school. If you're in extracurricular activities, for example, for me in the soccer, if you're just yourself, you're going to attract people like yourself, right? You're going to attract people with your morals and ethics. And this is pretty self-explanatory. I'm sure you guys have heard it before. But when you're in this situation, it's so easy to change, right? And I can go into the dangers of, kids aren't doing the right thing at school, they're your friends, and, that's what teachers and parents try to scare you. And that's one example of maybe changing yourself. But there are many other ways you could change yourself, to become friends, But like I said, if you're yourself, you're going to attract people like yourself, right? Not exactly like you. They're going to have differences in opinions, different viewpoints. But if they value, for example, for me, I'm a hard worker. I'm a person who am family-oriented. On a Friday night, instead of going, maybe I'll go to a football game to enjoy it, but I'm going to go right back home. I'm not going to go out and party and stuff like that. So many other things. And if I continue to just be myself and be kind, that's also something I value and I pride myself in. And I'm going to attract people eventually. And I'm going to tell yourself right now when I'm talking, I don't have that that go-to person, right? I don't know where to sit in lunch. I don't know who to talk to. I don't know when in the calculus class when they say go to your study buddy. I don't know who my study buddy is. And I know what time it's going to change. Time will tell. Everything will improve. And I've only had 3 days of school, and each day has gotten better and better, so that's something positive, right? That's just the be yourself kind of thing. That's the first layer. I can go into it more. But I'm going to go a little deeper now with the move. Like I said, it's hard. It's so hard. But there are people who have gone through this situation that I'm currently in, or who are in the situation that I am, or will be in the situation that I am, or I'm going through, right? It's uncomfortable. And there are many other ways that you can become uncomfortable. So there are many other people who are in that situation. People in my school who have known each other, they're still uncomfortable. And that's just, we don't like that. But sometimes you have to accept it. For me with the move, this is something that's helped me. Because when I moved, I knew where I was going to move. I knew the school district. I knew the home that I was going to move to. But then when I think about, and also, I know, I'm fairly far from my family, but on any given weekend where, there's something going on, I can go out and see them. And so in the technology, I can communicate with them. And what breaks my heart is thinking about, for example, and this happens to many other people, many other refugees, but for example, the refugees from Syria. These guys are leaving their home that they grew up with generation after generation, where their parents grew up, where their grandparents grew up, right? They're in their home that they love, that they feel comfortable in. And something happens, a tragic thing happens, and they're forced out of their home. They're forced out of the only place that they know, right? And they're gone, but they don't know where they're going. I knew where I was going. I knew I was going to have a roof over my head, and when it's cold, I had a blanket to snuggle. And when it rained, the roof would just carry the water off. I knew where my next meal was coming from, and I'm grateful for that, and I'm blessed to be in that situation. But for example, the Syrian refugees, they don't know where they're going next. They don't know the next place where they're going to sleep. Some of them are very fortunate and they have connections, but the majority, they don't know where their next meal is coming from. If it rains or they're cold, so be it. They have to get out of that situation. And they never know if they're going to see their country like it was. I don't think it ever will. They don't know if they're going to see their grandparents again if they left them behind. They don't know that. They're in another country. Heck, I'm in another state. In the same country. They're in another country that could speak a completely different language. Where are they going to get the money? Where are they going to get the food? And for me, yeah, it stinks that I moved. But it's also a blessing. It's an opportunity for me to grow as a person. And if you can change your mentality, you make a bad pass in practice. I'm just going to give you a quick example. Right? It stinks. Maybe the coach gets on your case. But if you can change your mentality saying, no, that bad pass, I now know what I can do to get better, right? I know where to make that pass instead of that pass, or how hard I should have made that pass. And you see it as a learning opportunity, a growing opportunity. This school is for me to learn, right? It's for me to grow as a person. I'm in an uncomfortable situation, but I'm growing and I'm learning. And I know that later down the road, I'm going to continue to be in uncomfortable situations. Last thing. With me being blessed. We're all blessed. And if you don't think that, I'm sorry. I really am. But let me tell you why you are. And I don't know what my viewers are going through. I don't know what you guys are going through. You guys could be going through a situation that's 10 times worse than I am. Or, you're not in a situation that's uncomfortable. but you will be. And let me tell you why you're blessed. When you go to sleep at night, there's a cheesy song that I just got through my head, but when you go to bed, right, you might be sharing a room with your brothers and sisters. You might have a room to yourself. You might be sleeping in a queen-size bed. You might be sleeping on the floor. You might be sleeping outside. But the natural way is, I'm going to wake up in the morning, right? That's your natural thought. What I'm going to do tomorrow morning. There are people who never have that chance to wake up. And that starts right away in the day. You wake up and you're blessed. Like I said, there are people who don't wake up. And I know it's deep, right? I'm breathing right now. That's a blessing. Without breath, I'm dead. My heart's pumping, my brain's going off a million miles per hour, thoughts streaming through, but I have that ability to think for myself, right? I'm talking to you. There are people who can't talk. You guys can hear me, right? At least I hope. There are people who can't hear. There are people who can't see. And I'm not saying those people who can't hear, can't see, can't talk aren't blessed, because they are. Right? They are. And I see it's so powerful, how happy blind people are. At most people, right? I saw a documentary of a couple Westerners going into an African tribe, and they didn't have the things that we deem as necessities. They didn't have running water, they didn't have electricity, didn't have shoes, right? But they were happy, barefoot, dancing on the dirt with each other. They didn't know where that next meal was coming from. They didn't have full protection from the sun, from the rain, but they were happy. And I think that's very powerful to see. And with that, I hope my message, what I was trying to say, touch you guys in one way or another. And like I said, I'm talking about school, but I hope this applies, and I could keep talking, but I hope this applies to many other things, whatever situation you're going through. Guys, if you're listening to this and this touched you, or you have a friend or a family member or someone you think, what I'm trying to say could help them, share it with them. I don't care if I get 100 views, 200 views, 3 views. All Vince and I want to do is impact you guys, right? Yeah, we'll have fun and talk about sports and all that stuff, but we always want you guys to think. So, if it's one person, one view, and I touch their life in one way, we touch their life, they took something away from our podcast or segments, awesome. That's our goal. If we get 50 views and the same thing happens, even better. So with that, guys, thank you for tuning in to Midweek Segment number 3. Pretty deep. A little hard to digest, to think through. I just hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you guys want to hear more about this, leave it down below. What you guys think, you guys' opinions of what I just said, comment down below. And if you like this and this helped you, find this helpful, just smash the like button. Anything you guys do just touches us, it means a lot to us. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you midweek segment number 5. And we got a lot of special things in store for you guys, so please stay tuned. And if you're listening to this and you aren't subscribed already, subscribe. See you guys.